I am coming for Henry and his dog walking business. I am accompanied by my lovely dog today. Are we coming for Henry and his business? What do you think? No? Hello book reading friends, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Melanie and today I am surrounded by dogs. As you can see, my two dogs are here with me and it is incredibly fitting because today we have a book review for Charming As A Verb by Ben Philippe. Today is my tour stop in the Charming As A Verb book tour, and I just have to say right off the bat, thank you so much to Colored Pages for the opportunity and to the publisher HarperTeen, because this opportunity was just absolutely incredible. If you have yet to subscribe to my channel, you can subscribe down below for more book content. I am constantly uploading book reviews, book recommendations. I have a diversity series, and you can also follow me on all of my social media for a more day-to-day look into my reading life. I have an Instagram, Twitter, and Goodreads. I will leave those all linked down below, as well as my Amazon wishlist. Charming As A Verb follows Henry Haltiwanger, who can literally charm just about anyone. He is a star debater and popular kid at Fate Academy, and he also has his own dog walking business. He is a first-generation Haitian son, and his dream is to attend Columbia University. However, the fact that he can charm just about anyone doesn't mean that much, because the one person who seems to be immune to his charm is Corinne Troy. And once she discovers Henry's sham dog walking business, she blackmails him into helping her become more likable at school. Of course, it's not that simple, because along the way they realize that there might be more to their connection than they first realized. I also want to note, before I get into the actual review of the book, this book has changed release dates, and instead of coming out this coming week, it is actually releasing on October 13th, so you can pre-order it now. Ben Philippe nailed it with this book. This is a YA contemporary. It just flashed me back to high school in the best way possible. I think he really nailed down that high school experience, and it was just so spot on to what I lived in high school. And it was just so funny because when I was growing up, I was in debate club and I used to breathe, eat, and sleep that. It was my entire life in high school. And so watching a character actually go through all the ups and downs and through debate practices and going through competitions and championships was so reminiscent to those days, and I absolutely loved to see that in a book, because I don't think I've ever read anything like that. And I know if other people like me who experienced some of these things in high school read this book, I just know that they could relate so much. And although I have read so many YA contemporaries, this book still stood out to me so much, not only because the representation was great, but also because the plot itself was unlike anything that I have personally read, but it also says a lot in regards to execution. I was such a huge fan of the writing in this book. I absolutely loved it. I think it was a great companion, not only to the setting, but to the characters and to the plot. It all was just very cohesive. I could picture those places very easily, despite not knowing all of these places in New York, because the book is set in New York. The characters were so easy to imagine, and they came to life so easily through the page. At no point in the book did I feel like it was too rushed. I genuinely think the pacing was really nice, and so it was very easy to read and very easy to follow. I also, whilst I was reading the book, there was so much banter between characters, like very quick-witted. It really reminded me a little bit of Red, White, and Royal Blue in regards to character dynamics and how they interact so quickly, and those like really smart-ass witty comments. It really reminded me of that. So if you were a fan of Red, White, and Royal Blue, particularly because of those character dynamics and that banter, you will definitely get that with this book, and I think you will really enjoy this one. I also really enjoyed the fact that we got a lot of Haitian culture mixed into the book. We also see that reflected into Henry's parents, and it was just a breath of fresh air to read about different customs and, you know, food and their culture and how that impacted how they think and how they behave. I was just there for it, and I was like, oh my god, yes, tell me more. We have many different characters in this book. We have Henry and Corinne, and then Corinne's mother, who I believe her name's Chantal, and then we have Henry's parents and Henry's best friend called Ming, who's Asian, and he was just the quirkiest, cutest character ever. I absolutely love him. He actually reminded me a little bit of my brother. It was just really funny. It added almost like a comedic relief and a lot of banter between the characters. That was really great. And then Henry as the main character is also a person who enjoys sneakers and fashion, and that was really cool to read about with the healthy winger charm. These characters feel so real. It's absolutely crazy. I felt like I was there with them. I felt like I was experiencing these things with them, and I actually wanted to banter with them. I honestly really could just picture them as my friends or as family members, and that was really cool to read. And then on the other hand, Corinne as a female lead, I absolutely loved her, mainly because when you're in high school or even in daily life, women get called intense all the time. It was just super cool to see how other people perceive it, but really how she feels about it and why she does certain things. But really, she is just the type of person who is incredibly set on her goals, and she wants to achieve them, and she will work hard for them. And it was super cool to see a main character like that in a book that was just written incredibly well. In regards to favorite character, it's really hard to choose. I think Henry's mom, I absolutely loved. She was really funny. That's one badass woman right there. I also really loved Corinne. I think that's a given. I think I could really relate to her as a character and her personality. I think one character dynamic that I really enjoyed, and I really enjoyed it because I think a lot of people deal with this, is Henry's relationship with his dad. I think particularly with this book and the whole high school arc, there are a lot of expectations that his father as an immigrant has, because he wants Henry to succeed and he wants the best for his son, and there's a lot of pressure that comes with that. And I really loved to see that dynamic and how it all developed throughout the book. As for the themes talked about in this book, we of course have a lot of talk about that immigrant experience and what it really means to be a first-generation son born into another country, into a different culture, and how people perceive you. And sometimes you might even just be seen as a statistic, maybe as that diversity point, those brownie points. And I loved how the book touches upon that. There is also mention of racism in... I also forgot to mention that they shed light into privilege, specifically in the college admissions process, and specifically about marginalized people whom, as opposed to white folks, may be at a disadvantage when applying. And I absolutely loved that. Not only does the book talk about that, but it's also one of the bigger themes addressed throughout the novel. But it is done in such an ingenious, smart way that it's really well done. And I also love that he really diversified the way in which he included these themes. Not only do you see it in dialogue, but you also see it in inner thought, you also see it in action or in reaction, and I just really liked the way that all of that was done. And the topics touched upon in this book are so incredibly important and ever-present, not only for the immigrant experience and moving to an entirely different country and having to start from scratch and cleaning floors if need be in order to create that life that you want, but also about the topic of racism. I think is the most important that is talked about in this book. And although it is not the centerpiece of the themes in this book, when it is touched upon, it hits you just how present this is, and the fight never stops. So again, I always have my Black Lives Matter link down below with invaluable resources that you guys can click on to help the cause. All in all, I really enjoyed this book, and I am incredibly overfilled with joy at the fact that I got to be a part of this book tour. And I ended up rating it a 4 out of 5 stars because I genuinely really enjoyed the book, and I think it is a really strong YA contemporary novel. Again, I would say if you're a fan of like that witty banter back and forth and an enemies to lovers trope, and if you like maybe Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston, this is definitely a book that you can get into and definitely enjoy because the writing style almost reminded me of that a little bit. Again, it is up for pre-order and it will be out on October 13th. The representation is great. The themes touched in this book are really good. And the characterization is just absolutely outstanding. And that is all for today, you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this book review. You guys can subscribe down below so you don't miss out on any of that. that good content. I am constantly uploading book reviews, book recommendations. I have my diversity series, and again, I have exciting content coming your way very, very soon. You can also follow me on all of my social media, which are all linked down below. I have Instagram, Twitter, and Goodreads, as well as my Amazon wishlist in case you guys want to support me and my channel and gift me a book. Comment down below if you're looking forward to this particular release. Had you heard of it? Are you just hearing about it for the first time? What are your thoughts? Let me know all that in the comments below. I love you guys so much, and I will see you on my next video. Bye guys.